say. You're the first guest with all the new equipment.
No way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We just got a grant from the New Hollywood.
The New Hollywood.
My friend Brianna Brown's group.
Brianna Brown.
So we got like this
Episode 2.
This $1,000 grant to update our equipment. She was our first guest of the year. Yeah, she's awesome. She's fucking awesome. So she was our first
guest. These grants, the new what?
The New Hollywood.
Yeah,
what is that?
It's
you pledge yourself for 7 lifetimes.
No,
you have to pay exorbitant fines for classes. I mean,
there's only a little bit of bloodletting in it, just for the newcomers.
Like, what's the girl from Smallville?
Sex slaves.
Do I need to recruit sex slaves? Yeah. Oh God.
Very sad.
That is crazy.
No, Chloe was a character.
Was it?
Yeah. What's your name?
I watched it for 10 years.
No.
Something Mac.
He's not a real person.
Allison Mack.
There it is. Allison Mack.
Christine Crew was in it before Allison Mack.
She's the one that got her into it.
But then she bailed when she figured out what it was.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is a... I'm good.
That's the only guy we get to have sex with?
I'm good. I'm good, y'all.
Hollywood thing where we all get to bang each other, but no.
But who does that? How do you not
that
know that you're... I mean... How do you get drawn into that in the first place?
It's.
Let me ask you a question. All right, are you Catholic?
Well, no.
That's how it just happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was gonna say pizza, free puppies.
But they went the other direction of no sex, which was really strange.
Yeah.
Complete opposite.
Well,
that's like, what? Hold on.
It's like, wait, what?
This whole revolution.
Yeah.
Kind of took over the world and robbed them of all their resources. We kind of thought that meant a lot of sex in it for us all.
You think?
Do you think we should? I know we've been talking for a little bit, but do you think it's about time that we introduced our guests to the audience and all that, and introduced ourselves?
Oh, I could barely hear you because you've been walking around with a wine bottle.
Well, our guest brought us over a lovely bottle of Grenache.
Holla.
We're about to go open and let breathe.
Okay,
so
holla. Let it breathe.
Let breathe. Well, I was gonna do my rant, but then somebody here has
let him rant because he's got to go into the kitchen and do his thing.
Somebody hasn't seen Avengers, so I don't want to go into.
No, it's cool.
Rant about Avengers? What are you talking about?
No, not about. No. That's why I want to clarify. No. I saw it.
How long's the rant? Because I'll plug my ears and do that loud laughing again.
Okay.
The rant is about the reviews. About certain reviews.
Incredibly attractive.
And all the fanboys are going to be happy.
Everyone has amazing abs.
So
here's my rant. Here's my rant.
I want to watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing. But that's my issue is I got to stop reading Reddit and reading reviews because for 10 years everyone's complained. The complaint about Marvel is like, oh, everything's cheery, happy, and all that. Finally, they give us a movie with stakes, with a villain that's developed and it's not one-dimensional. Which I thought, how are they going to do that? Because we haven't seen Thanos in forever.
With the ball sack for a chin.
Yeah, but then...
Was it like that in the comics?
Yeah, he is. He's very good. Yeah, very tight. Very tight. Scrotum face. That was his first name?
That's totally a word.
And then they figured, like, no.
First draft.
Actually, I heard it's
Scrotum, man.
And then testicles they tried for a while. Like a strong Roman name.
But it was the 50s.
And everybody kept thinking that was going to be like a mythical, like godlike character, like Hercules. So no, they nixed that.
Next star.
Yeah.
But
Fury is supposed to be the strongest. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but no, he is. Yeah, but here's my issue. Like, yeah, but he's not invincible. But that's the whole thing. It's like
he couldn't even heal his own. And the chick came by and went, zzz, and then it was all good.
Exactly.
But he couldn't do that.
No, because of the weapon of the other guy. They didn't explain it. There's a ton of.
I knew there was some stuff. But
that was a weapon. But
sorry.
no, but my issue is with this geek fandom and geek kingdom over there. Like, you can't complain. Being a geek, you can complain for 10 years about Marvel not doing one thing, and then when they give us what we've been bitching about, then you bitch about that too. So they gave us a great movie with
an amazing movie, the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Every critic was complaining. Yeah,
that really,
dude, huge.
Really,
it has nothing to do with it.
Well,
best.
I mean, for my fanboy, I was just so happy to fucking see it.
But still, listen,
you to the premiere, not my wife.
Like I was like a 14-year-old boy all over again. I was like, oh my god!
But in the scale of like a movie company taking an entire universe, which basically the comic book model, and put it in a film model, which has never been done, they've accomplished the impossible. So on that fact, they've done something that anyone else that does it is going to repeat it. They're the first ones.
Well, it was like an annual.
Like the Matrix.
It was like an annual.
Yeah,
when
but
you get
how
that
good was Peter?
Exactly. I want to say a lot. Okay, no.
And that SUIT. Did you spell things? Was she not heroes?
Yeah.
No. Okay, you wanted to mention it.
I'm legit. I will go in the corner and just like la.
See, when we get headphones for everyone, I'll say, take off your headphones.
Yeah, there you go. Take off your headphones.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, listen, when a company as big as Marvel, as big as Disney, finally listens to the fans and gives you what they want, stop bitching about it. Is it perfect? No, but they give us everything that we've been complaining for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Stop complaining and enjoy it. And by the way, there's a part 2, so anyone crying about it, relax.
Right.
There's got part 2. It's not done.
You want to know what I heard one reviewer say in this, and it's obvious he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. But he says a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, and you don't get anybody's story. What the hell do you think the last 10 years were about, buddy? What do you think all the origin stories were
still,
about? You don't get one.
You got Gamora's.
You really get Gamora's story.
But still, if you go
That
in
makes sense
with
because the family tie.
Yeah, but if you still go into this movie without knowing anything, it's still it's still
loved it.
Yeah,
She knew nothing about it.
you
Nice.
still get a sense of like, oh, these guys are battling this big problem.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, and then you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I'm just saying, let's relax. Let's relax a little bit.
But you expected that.
I
I expected.
There's always going to be some.
I expected it, but then going down the Reddit rabbit hole, I didn't expect it this badly. Like their subreddits have been They started in 2008 praising Marvel, just bashing this movie.
Stop going 13 Reddits in.
No,
That's the
no because
that's the moral of the story.
that's
don't
what.
like
What was
bullies.
one big thing?
I don't care where they're from.
Yeah.
What was one big thing that you think would satisfy, like what the majority of what you heard?
Okay. So, let me elaborate on this a little bit.
Okay.
The one thing that we need to stop is if my fan theory doesn't come through or come true at all, shut the fuck up.
It's okay, Brock.
So
It's
because I
okay.
feel the complaints are because I do a fan theory, I get proven wrong, therefore I hate this movie. So
it's a theory for a reason.
yeah, so the fact that Silver Surfer wasn't in
Fan
it,
theorem.
yeah,
Theorem?
Fan
Theorem?
law.
Fan.
It's a theory.
I might be slightly hungover.
All right, but yeah, you do. But the fans got one right they got one right. Groot and the Hammer. If you've seen the movie, you'll know that's
awesome.
the one right.
That was an
But
amazing
I feel
moment.
like a lot of the complaints were like, okay, well, Silver Surfer wasn't there, or the X-Men weren't there, or things that everyone theorized, like, oh,
Ant-Man.
yeah, Ant-Man. But that's the thing. If you're logical, the movie's coming out in a few months.
Who do you think's gonna
Exactly,
be there to help?
Ant-Man.
Miss Marvel.
Which, yeah, Captain Marvel. You can say Captain Marvel.
Like I keep starting a name, look at me, look guilty,
Yeah.
look away.
Peter Porker.
That's actually a character. I
That'd be great.
I like you. But no, I just feel like we're spoiled in the sense
Yes,
that
you are.
Yeah, we are very much.
Subject.
Yeah, we're very spoiled in the sense that
Yeah.
now I have a theory that I think is cool, so I feel entitled. And if they don't deliver it, I'm going to complain and bash the entire thing. To those people, I say, go fuck yourselves. All right, go fuck yourselves. That's me.
That's still a rant.
That's Landis.
Now I understand.
The comments,
Landis'
okay, the
rant.
comments and opinions of this
Yay!
of Landis Aponte do not reflect the comments and opinions of this podcast. That said,
I don't know, you had me convinced.
go fuck yourselves. They gave us a.
That's the title of Landis's solo podcast.
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself.
And now we can start the podcast.
Hijo de puta.
And now, yeah.
And now,
Puñeta.
we'll do a little.
Let's start the
that
podcast.
note.
On that note, let's start the podcast.
We did, and then
Yeah,
it
but
became
that's
a
going to
thing.
be a place where it could be put in.
I have
See?
a feeling that's
Okay.
you on
All
the
right.
accent.
Anyway.
Actually, no.
No,
That's actually our sound guy.
Yeah, that's
That's our
Sam.
sound guy. He's
Samuel
awesome.
Colby.
That is Mr.
Yeah.
Sam Swain.
And that's
or somebody's gonna
originally
put that in there,
composed by him and done in his apartment.
Like I wasn't asked permission for that, but I was okay with it.
Yeah. All right, I'm Jorge-Luis Payo.
Oh, you're doing the intro now, so you're taking over the
That's how
show?
we do it, man.
Okay, no. Okay, the
Who
format.
are you? Where are you? What are we doing?
All right, so
Come on.
let's start the show.
Like the
Well,
Disney
See how this works, right?
all right, let's start. I'll start officially. Welcome to Wait, LA. I'm Landis Aponte with Jorge-Luis Payo and Veronica Roy.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was hesitant. Am I saying my name or are you saying my
I don't
name?
know.
Because you said his name.
Since we're changing the
So-
format, I'm just winging it right now.
Okay, cool.
Whatever.
We're having
No, it's
fun.
awesome.
Anyway.
Whatever.
And
So-
with us
Veronica Davis,
today
Right.
is Nicholas Gonzales.
Nicholas
you might
Gonzales.
remember from The Good Doctor. Dr.
Good
Neil
Doctor.
Landis. I got a little something for Nicholas. Let's see if he can name a few of these.
Hello, everybody.
Why are you talking?
Fill in
Come
it.
on.
Play.
Hey, you're Nicholas Gonzales. Well, since I'm not investigating your friend's husband anymore, maybe now you can have a meal with me. You're the only good thing about my day. Monster, bro.
We've got a Native American, an Asian couple, and I even managed to find a white guy.
It's alright. Are you hungry? There's food in the refrigerator in the back. Ya me lo comí. Es muy bueno. God, I knew there was something wrong. Every time I see you, we get attacked by lunatics with crazy weapons. El que quiere su celeste, que le cueste.
Meaning what?
Meaning, if you want the sky painted blue, you gotta paint it yourself. Ask him if Black Butch is out of the joint. Find a miniature Frank Gehry. And give me a Jamba Juice with a protein boost. You want to tell me exactly what you got us into this time.
Those were the cutest faces I've ever seen,
adorable.
ever.
I have such a hard time watching myself on screen anyway.
Yeah.
And listening to myself and then remembering this guy's cute face as
Aww.
I fed him food in the Santiago kitchen.
Oh,
He's
Such a
pointing
pleasure
at
to have on
George.
set, and you've been such a pleasure to be a friend in life.
Absolutely. No, right back
So
at
happy
you.
to be here with you today.
Dude, it's been,
What
what,
memories?
20 years
Yeah, dude.
now?
You
Wow.
got a friend in me.
No, seriously. I mean,
You-
got a friend in
Nicholas
me.
and I always run into each other at Nicholas and I always run into each other at where we work out.
A little bit smarter than I am.
So question now that I've been meaning to ask since
stay
you've
for the
walked in the
rides
door.
and seeing it?
How do you guys know each other?
yeah. Let's start from the beginning.
Clearly, there's history.
There's
So
some romance right here going on.
Romance.
I was fresh in LA. And
This sounds like the beginning of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
We need some hot music right now. Go
Fresh
on.
Prince of California.
Go on.
Nicholas was driving down Sunset Boulevard.
Okay.
I needed
Top
a
down.
ride.
Top down.
And one thing led to another, and here we are now, 20 years.
With two children.
Resurrection Boulevard.
You actually had me for a while there.
Yeah, he's
That
like,
sounds about right.
yeah, it's accurate.
I don't happen to be going to the same audition right now. Dressed exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Nicholas was on a great show, Resurrection Boulevard, which was the beginning. It was groundbreaking for Latino shows. It was on Showtime.
The first Latino primetime series.
Yeah.
We were on Showtime. Tony Plana, the ever missed Elizabeth Pena, who was absolutely incredible, and I miss her every day. Michael De Lorenzo, Mauricio Mendoza, Ruth Livier, Douglas Spain. We had a whole family. Marisol Nichols, who's kicking butt over on Riverdale.
Nice.
She's on Riverdale now. Oh, okay.
I haven't caught up.
I haven't caught
On
up
season
either.
two? I haven't seen season two.
Behind too. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's when she's introduced season 2.
No,
But-
she's the mother in season 1.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's her.
But way,
Yeah,
back,
okay,
way
uh-huh.
back then, she was my 15-year-old sister.
All right.
Resurrection Boulevard.
And before that, she was his girlfriend on the
Princess and the
and
Barrio Boy.
and the Barrio Boy.
Which was changed. Well, it was called La Sirena when I signed on to it.
All right.
And when Edward James Olmos and I signed on to it, and him and I both used to do publicity for it when they changed the name.
Oh, right on.
Really kind of demeaning. But it was Tony Plana's directorial debut, and we were young, so we had a lot of fun.
So this is a educational podcast for artists, Nicholas. This is about and we want upcoming actors and artists and musicians and whatnot to come in and talk about their journeys and how they got started. So you're from San Antonio, Texas. You went to Stanford. I mean, we got all that. How did you get started?
Gosh, it's I didn't do anything in high school. To me, drama was like Guys and Dolls and stuff like that in Oklahoma and things I just kind of wasn't interested in. I grew up, did a lot of performing at school. I mean, we had to do end of school programs and music class, and we would do musicals and all that kind of thing.
So were you like captain of the basketball team and then found out you could sing and became like the lead of the Glee cast? Okay.
Okay. I was saying, that's Glee.
I'm combining like all these different. It's like High School Musical meets Glee meets like.
I just wasn't into that kind of thing then, and but I was always into TV. I was a latchkey kid, and my brother and I were raised by what was on when we came home, and my mom was still at work.
Yep.
What were some of your favorite shows when you were a kid?
Three's Company, The Jeffersons.
Nice. Jeffersons.
Sanford and Son. What's Happening?
Yeah, classics.
I mean, so we grew up on that, and my parents divorced when we were young, so there was weekends with Dad, which meant staying up late and watching cable when he was asleep and seeing stuff you weren't supposed to see. So exposed to movies that I shouldn't have watched, at a young age, but movies that kind of like you fall in love with, that that you just didn't understand them the way you do as an adult. Like, I saw Deer Hunter.
Exactly. Kids back in here's Uncle Landis, kids back in the day.
Back in the day.
Before the internet.
Before the interweb.
It
was a very different thing.
The time where we had to wait.
Facebook and the Instagram.
The Snapchat.
In order to see a well-formed boob, a young man had to wait until 2 a.m.
Oh, boy, and wait for those squiggly lines.
Yeah.
Just every once in a while.
And unscramble a channel. The technique, the amount of technical difficulty this was. We had to go downstairs, unscramble the channel, and it wasn't clear because we just saw it through the fuzz. Like, oh, that's a boob right there. That's how we got porn back in the day, kids.
You kids have no idea how lucky you are that you have Pornhub today.
Yeah.
Pornhub.
That was the other thing we used to watch.
Yeah.
Benny Hill's show.
Benny Hill.
For some reason, it could show bare-ass naked people.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing.
European TV, I love it. It's like,
So I did really, I grew up on all of that and stand-up comedy and, watched Eddie Murphy stand up with Page and Richard Pryor, all those. And got into a little watching improv, in high school. I enjoyed going to some local shows, but not, never thought of this as a career. Then when I was at Stanford, I wanted to do improv myself. I was running cross-country and track there. I didn't have a lot of time. All my classes were
Did you go into Stanford with the intention of getting like a BFA or?
No, that's what I'm saying. I never considered. I was.
So what did you go into Stanford to study originally?
Originally, you kind of go in and you're not really sure. I was thinking economics. I was going into investment banking, management.
Money.
It's a different time where you can go to college and not stress about it. Where now, like, you got to be planned because you're going to be broke for the rest of your life.
Forever. Make it count.
Yeah, and it's
in
also,
10 years, everybody's going to default anyway.
Yeah.
At the time, it wasn't really what you studied. It was where you went and that you were trainable, that you did well there, So that's where I was headed, and I wanted to take an improv class for fun, and I stopped running after my sophomore year and went abroad and backpacked by myself around Europe, and then went to Oxford for a couple terms, and decided when I got back spring of my junior year, that I wanted to do more improv. Suddenly I thought, that could be fun again. They didn't have another class. So I got into acting classes because in the course description it said improv exercise. So I thought,
done.
Nice.
That one sentence right there is why I'm in this class.
And the rest just kind of happened. I mean, I was approached. I was probably the only Latino kid in the class, I would imagine, from thinking back. And a graduate student was doing a Jose Rivera play called Gas that was about the first Gulf War and about a brother that was thinking about his brother that was off at war, and he's walking, his car is run out of gas, and he's walking to fill it up, and this monologue, it's a 20-minute monologue. I'd never done anything in my life. Oh, wow. She had me read it, and I read it out loud to her, and she said, I want to do it.
Done.
And for some reason, I think these moments come in your life, and there's probably 4 or 5 that I can name that are those moments where you unequivocally any other time would say, oh, no, yeah, thank you, but, like, you're the host at a restaurant, and the stripper doesn't show up, and, then everyone, for a bachelorette party, and the women ask, would you mind coming to dance? Oh, thank you. But
happens to me all the time.
Classic
if I had
Tuesday.
You know what?
Classic
Tuesday. That was the second one of mine. But
that was my last month.
For some reason, I said yes. I heard it come out of my mouth, and anybody who's accepted a play knows.
Yeah.
As soon as you say yes,
the
weight of the rehearsal,
Yeah.
the opening is immediately on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Why did I say
Why?
yes? Because all that nerves. And so anyway, I did it, and Alma Martinez was in the audience at the time. She's an actress she's had a long, decorated career, most recently on The Bridge, and a lot of other actually shows. I probably have to pull her up to see, but she was in the original Zoot Suit on Broadway, and she happened to be getting her PhD, and happened to be in the audience of this little graduate project, theater piece that I did. Came to me afterwards and said, "Hey, we need more young Latino actors like you, and I think you have something." And she literally held my hand and introduced me around to the theater scene in San Francisco.
Wow.
Just started doing it for fun, and I'll wrap this up really quickly and say that it was something that until my senior year, when it was time to go to interviews with different finance companies, that I was like, I'm going to be in theater. I'm not going to have money, but I'm going to be happy. This is really exciting, and I'm going to move to LA to do theater.
All right.
Stupid,
And LA.
Theater in San Francisco.
Wait. That's what we think of. That's what we think of first.
LA. Well, all right.
How was your family supportive?
That was going to be my question. Yeah.
Extremely supportive.
Nice.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I remember my mother pulling me aside at my graduation, and she said, mijo. How they always start. She said, "Mijo, you have always done everything you put your mind to, and I know this is going to be no different. And more than anything, I think it's when you start seeing your parents as, like mine is Sylvia instead of my mom.
Yeah.
She confided in me, and she said, not all of us find that thing we love, and if this is it for you, I really hope you found it, and know that, it's a luxury that we're provided to even be able to go after this, and to know that, our parents weren't always in those kind of positions to chase this folly or to the artistic life."
That's my mom. Yeah.
Right.
My mom was a singer. When she was growing up, she did singing competitions, and she would take first place and walk away with first place. But she would always say to me, I didn't know what to do next. And she didn't really have any support because her mom was just, not a part of it. So when she had me and my sister, she always, from the very beginning, had us in dance classes, right? And had us and I did the school plays in high school. And then when I went to college, and she would come and she's always been, for the very same reason, because she didn't really have her opportunity, right? She went into nursing instead. Still
Bless them. Our grandparents, those big hands that are just so like rough from
work. Hours and hours,
I know the story's the same when I look at each one of you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was for us in this town and in this, this nation. It was built by our grandparents.
Well, yeah, but it's funny. I recently went to go see. Have you seen Leguizamo's new show?
No.
In Broadway?
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Everyone keeps saying that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you have to see it. Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm headed there in a couple days.
And I was telling you, a mutual friend of ours, Kenneth Castillo, right? He and I are working on another project of ours, and we were talking. We were like trying to figure out, because he's Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican, Ecuadorian. We're trying to figure out what is the common ground between the Latino culture, right? Because African Americans, they all have this common thing, the slavery and whatnot, right? What is your what?
So you're using
oppression?
No, he's using his dog like an ottoman. We just found that fascinating.
I'm massaging her. She likes this.
No, your foot wasn't moving when we were looking.
It was
placed. It was placed.
When I'm not talking, it's moving.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
It's good.
Because we love animals in this podcast, so I'm going to stop it.
No animals were hurt in the
making of this podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Continue. Go on.
But anyway, Leguizamo had a great point that we do all have a shared experience, and that is, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Carib Indians, they were all conquered.
Yeah.
They were all conquered into extension.
That's why the Irish love us, and that's why we love them back.
Yeah.
We're colonized people.
Yeah.
Well, they came to fight in the Mexican.
My people, we're still a colony in Puerto Rico. I'm from Puerto Rico, so we're still...
We're still a colony.
We're still a colony.
We're still a colony.
I'm still a colony. But no, you're right. That's the main reason why Moana broke my heart. Like there's things that I was telling we're
talking about the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's things about that.
Feel like you had an ex-girlfriend named Moana that you every once in a while every podcast goes.
That is a whole podcast in itself.
And that's why. And you're all like,
that is.
Here's a go great. Here we go.
That is a 12-part
podcast. All right, everybody, push pause on this. Take your bathroom break.
No pause. You're gonna hear the story. That bitch Moana. No, but there's scenes like there's that film. It was weird because I went to see it with a couple of friends, and they're all crying when she's like, "I am Moana," and they didn't understand why I'm crying when she finds the boats and discovers her history.
Aww.
And they did not get why I was bawling. I'm like, you don't get it when you don't know your past, and you find out you come from great people, and you've been told all your life that you're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that scene. That's the most powerful scene to me that I felt in a movie in a long time, because that's my people. That's where I grew up. And that's the island I keep going back every year to visit my family. You know, so we do have that commonality. We come from a great people that we've lost that history.
A wonderful, artistic, intelligent history. I mean, it was the Mayans that made math.
Yeah, we were talking about Coco for a second.
No, but that's another. Yeah, Coco was another film. I care for a whole another reason for Coco.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go down the list.
Yeah, but we all come from a very rich past that, like Native Americans, we were taken away and stripped of it and taught the Western European way.
You're Catholic now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not taking that back. That you're right. We do have that commonality, and we're always pushed to like, oh no, you're different. Yeah, in some things, but no, we have a common background that we should. Should do a program, a directorial program in CAA because of them. I got into meetings because of them. So like, okay, we're complaining, but we're also doing stuff to show our talent.
I find the same with like National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts. Opportunities that actually bear fruit. And people are making projects together. Kids are getting scholarships. You know, they're graduating and then being linked with. You know, there's programs in the works. So, you know, it is very supportive. And then also my community of actors, I've felt have been a big support network. And you know, I think you get to an age. Put my hands up.
Because
feeling the Grenache
you took two sips.
Are we televising this right now?
He is crossing his legs right now. The lotus
crossing,
pose.
uncrossing, crossing again.
But what was I running on about?
Scholarships and
no, but I found a
strong community of actors
in Latino Hollywood. Even if it came to like that's where even my first publicity came from. You know, like first interviews and like you know, so cutting your teeth on a lot of that. I found, but you know, bitch sessions and those kind of things I've never really taken too much.
I guess that's what I mean.
But I've done the panels and what's different about how do you think diversity's come along now, and you know all those questions that I feel like the answers haven't really changed. And I think
yeah. I mean, well, you seem to be bringing a little bit of change, but the different roles that you get to play. I mean, how many times have we gotten to see like a chief?
He means had to watch me as.
Oh, come on. No, I mean, Neil Melendez is kind of a groundbreaking character, isn't
he? I feel like, to me, it is, for me at least. But
can you name the show? No,
name the show.
Detailed so the audience
The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor.
Tuesdays at 10.
A friend of mine just started writing on them, so I'm happy.
Really?
He's part of the fellowship. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know how to mess it up, but he got hired last Monday, so I'm happy for him.
I may have met him last night at the Autism Film Festival. I met a couple new writers, one that was promoted from, I think he was assisting.
Asian?
Very well minded.
We're narrowing it down.
I just don't know.
You know how we got we got some Latino brothers.
Exactly. Yeah. But
I don't know which one he was.
Can you sign his name? Do you know sign language?
No. I don't.
I just know Apple.
I was
Cracker.
Yeah, he was nice enough. I was with him at ABC last week, so I'm like, I don't know the rules, so I don't want to mess it up. But that's the show he was, because when you do the fellowship, everyone gives their like priority list of like, this is the shows that I want. That's the one he was fighting for.
That's good.
That's the one he was fighting for. And when I talked to him, he was so panicked when he was going to talk to the showrunner. I'm like, you're fine. If you're going to do the interview like you just taught me why you want to be there, you're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine.
David Shore is such a such a awesome, gentle, intelligent, funny, biting humor when he wants, guy. He's such a joy to talk to and work with. So your friend is in great.
Awesome.
Now, question. You said Autism Film Festival. Tell me more about that, because my youngest brother is severely autistic and he's nonverbal. And so the fact that there's a main character with autism on television now, it's just like that's
Atypical
cool.
as well, which they were honored last night.
That's right.
Also, and Netflix was a big sponsor. Ed Asner and his son Matt, I want to say Matt Asner, were two really big parts of the festival. I was just there this last night, and we showed the Good Doctor pilot, and then had a Q&A afterwards.
Yeah.
They gave us an award, and like I said, along with Atypical, two shows that are dealing with autism out there. But what I really think is interesting, and you'll probably, I think you and I might mesh on this, at least Jorge, is that while I enjoy representation of, like I love playing Latino characters, and I continue to try to do crossover in some things, and in this climate now, it's like you are what you are, and you're gonna play it, as opposed to like before we used to play Colombian, and I could be hired. They're gonna hire a Colombian guy now, because they're everywhere. We have Juan Pablo Raba, or we have there's so many actors
Especially
from South
after
America that have now come up. The sheer numbers in just the 20 years are totally different, but it also changes what we're up for. I was still going up for a lot of like
the
still
cholo.
maybe white role though too. Though no, I'm talking about the opposite, where I was going, Lieutenant Robert James, behind enemy lines too, and they didn't change the character's name, and So what I was saying is that you sometimes have this. I want the character to be Latino and to be obviously Latino, and things about that, so kids can see that, and other people can see and be like, "Hey, that's me," and I'm being represented on television. But then there's another part of me that's like, can't we sometimes just be good without it? Every other word having to be Latino. We're saying it. We're all about it. Or my family is always really loud, and when we get all together in the dining table, mine is, and we all scream over each other. So it is true, but
it doesn't always have to be in the face.
No, I completely agree with you, because as a kid growing up in an island, obviously, and very Americanized island. People think Puerto Rico, like I still get questions like, do you walk barefoot? Yeah, on the beach.
Yeah.
Assholes. But it's very Americanized. But it's true, like to us, the locals of those countries, when we see those, we see it as a cartoonish version of it. So we go like, oh, fuck that. Fuck that. Because to us, like, my brother is a cop, my aunt is a doctor, my sister-in-law is a lawyer. So this is normal. We're not just the loud people.
Right, and that's what I thought was interesting about Resurrection Boulevard. Had a family. It wasn't just like, we had our moments, and it was a very, like, we hung a lantern on we're Latino. That was definitely,
but it was still an American. It was like it was a Mexican American family. It wasn't like a Mexican family, or just like it was a Mexican American family, which is what America's made up of.
Yeah, it's like the note every time I go to like pitch meeting to pitch a show, it's like, can you make it more Latino? It's like, they're just people.
They're just people.
They're just people. They're already Latino. I can't make them anymore. They're just people.
And that's what I like that's interesting about Melendez for me, is that, him being Latino is like the fifth interesting thing. In the sense that I think it's a culture that, for my own reasons and for what I've created with the character, it's something that he holds very dear, and maybe something that also helped him at a point when, he saw some dark times, and maybe wouldn't have become the guy he was, and he owes some of that to Glassman. And then, to me, there's a strong identification with culture, and some of that is in the tattoo work you see on the character. But beyond that, what I like is it's not. We don't have to always talk about it. We don't. No. I don't. That it's actually never really brought up. He's just,
which is kind of typical of a Latino male anyway. So
he's a Latino professional on a very high level, and I hope kids look at that and can be like, hey, this is awesome, and not have to always just be reminded of.
That makes me think of sorry, I interrupted.
Go.
The TV show Lethal Weapon. Something I actually really appreciate about them is Murtaugh's family. Okay. It's just a traditional American family. Like they have interactions, son and father. They talk about father-son stuff. They talk about daughter-mother stuff. And at no time is it like every other word. It's because I'm black. It's a race thing. This, that, and the other thing. Like, I'm watching it and I was almost in tears. I'm like, thank you, because they're just a family. Yeah. And they deal with family issues. It doesn't have to be every other word out of your mouth having to do with stereotypical stuff or with race.
Yeah.
It's just about being a human being.
Yeah. But that needs to be seen a lot more, because that's why I'm not a successful showrunner right now, because I get into a lot of arguments. But it's like, no, because that's my thing. Like, and every time I go to pitch meeting, I explain to them, listen, as a Puerto Rican kid, the only reason I'm doing this job is because I saw Guillermo del Toro do Kronos, and I found like, oh, my people can do that. They can do what? Whoa, and that blew my mind. Like, it's just one of my favorite vampire movies ever.
Which one?
Kronos.
I don't think I've seen this.
It's old. but watch it. It's the best. It's an original take on vampire and a vampire genre.
Every time we do this, Landis brings up a new movie that I'm like,
Isn't that
okay.
crazy?
And we're writing it down.
Still bring up.
Yeah,
I have a
it's-
friend like that I was like taking to lunch, and I'm like,
Just talk.
really land on the
Fascinating.
board.
So let me just record in front of you. Just talk.
So you're saying I'm important then? Okay, cool. Thank you.
You read
Thank
it
you.
that way. We read it.
If
To-
that's
Let
what
me
helps you
have
sleep
this.
at
To each his
night.
own. To each his own.
Let me have this
whatever
moment.
helps us sleep
Pero
at night.
indispensable.
Okay, thank you. But that's the thing that I always try to, as a writer, I try to fight against. Where even the show that I'm trying to produce right now, yes, he's Hispanic, and yes, we see claims for that, but it's just about a character dealing
That's a
with
word I
a
haven't heard
problem.
in a while.
Yeah.
Hispanic.
A what?
That's a word I haven't heard in a
Hispanic.
while.
Oh,
Hispanic.
yeah. I get into stupid arguments with people, and I'm like, I'm going to say Hispanic. Don't worry. Latino. Doesn't matter. I don't speak Latin.
Oh, Latinx.
Yeah.
is the
I don't
new
know
thing.
about that
Listen.
one.
What is this?
I don't know.
Latinx? Is that for
It
the new
means
generation?
like A or O. Like
Yeah,
let's,
yeah,
let's
you're-
take
yeah.
out the gender and let's bring in everybody.
Yeah.
It's like herstory, but that's actually
Oh,
going the
but
other
that's just the
direction.
language.
I was gonna say
So are we going
herstory
to
is
change the
literally-
I
entire
just didn't know
language?
if it was Latin or do you pronounce the X? Is it like French?
I don't know.
Latin.
not
I'd rather
Grand
just
Prix,
say
you know what
Latin.
I mean?
I'd rather just say Latin, then I'm Latin.
You know what? None of us speak Latin
I
anyways.
don't
You know
know
that.
the word.
Yeah,
That was always
exactly.
been the argument.
I took,
Exactly.
I
So,
took Latin in high school.
If we want to, yeah.
We're
but-
not allowed to call ourselves Spanish
Two
either,
semesters.
apparently.
Well,
We're not from Spain.
well, as,
Spaniards.
well,
I can't call myself Mexican. Anytime I do that, people go, "You're American." When I go
But
to
see,
Mexico,
that-
they don't
but-
identify.
see, but that's the thing. That's another thing I bring up.
We're the only people that call it that.
No, but that's the thing I bring up.
Yeah.
As the only one who lived another. Well,
However,
like
when
you
I'm
guys talking about,
overseas,
that's the thing.
however, when I'm
see the
overseas, I will say I'm Puerto Rican because people will be like, "Oh man, so sorry to hear about your island." They're more. Seriously, that's what
Say it
happened.
to the guy who
Liar,
actually
you
was
play
raised
on-
on the island.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
You play on people's sensitivities.
Yeah,
When I was in
exactly.
Korea,
Oh,
no, because I don't want to
Get
tell them
free
I'm
things.
American.
should I
Then
call my mom and let her know that she survived that hurricane? Should I call? No. All right. So the point is like, yeah, you're not going to use. I'm sorry.
Lightning bolts.
Let's get back to the point.
grew up
No,
on an
but
island.
I'm watching in the
New York
Heights
City.
now.
yeah.
Who's gonna start singing and dancing?
Oh, if I hear another West Side Story, oh god.
So
no.
mad about West Side Story.
The point is like my
I'm
first
too old.
roommate. Yeah, no.
I'm so pissed off because I'm too old.
Yeah.
You'd be the dad and the white beater coming out. Hey, shut up.
Oh god. But my first roommate was African American, and we got into the dumbest argument because when I first moved out here, I'm seeing what he's going out for, and I'm like, "Oh, you're going out for African American?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What part of Africa?" I'm asking all these questions, and he's like, "No, I'm African American." Oh, I thought you were born in Jersey. And we got into a stupid argument, and I had to stop it. It's like, no, you don't get it. To anyone else in the world, you're just an American. Mm-hmm. You're just an American. You're a gringo like anyone else, regardless of your color or your past. It's where you're born that everyone considers. So if you're African American, that means you came from Africa and became a citizen. To everyone else,
Well, to you maybe.
exactly. But to the majority of the world. But if you're in America, it's a different thing. There's different rules.
Right.
But that's the thing that Americans don't understand. When you go to another country, they view you as an American.
Yeah. No matter what you start saying, you
Yeah.
white girls
No.
like, well, I'm part Cherokee.
Yeah,
And
no.
you
Oh,
try to
God.
like,
Stop.
Everyone's like, okay, so you're
The
One
adjectives
16th.
don't count.
Yeah, that doesn't
No.
count.
No.
So yeah, so I feel like it's
Part
if you do go to
Every
Mexico,
white
yeah,
she's part Cherokee.
yeah, it's like if you go to Puerto Rico and say I'm Puerto Rican and you don't say
My
it in
no,
Spanish,
standards are really high because you
Yeah.
don't eat.
When I go to Puerto Rico, I'm not
don't
Puerto Rican. When I go to Ecuador, I'm not Ecuadorian.
yeah, no, it's like they'll call you out where? Oh, no, you don't speak.
Well,
it.
you know
Why
what's
not?
funny is when I actually in America, in the States, though, when people ask me where I'm from, I always say New York. And then what's the next question they ask me?
Where's
but
your family
really,
from?
Really?
And
Where
I
you
go,
from?
Really?
Texas. Where's your dad from? Texas. We've been there. You're like,
Yeah.
we didn't cross the border.
Yeah.
We crossed up.
Yeah,
from
you
New
came
York,
to
man.
us, man. Yeah, you
Yeah,
took it
you
over.
guys-
Many generations.
We've been in Texas for 3 generations.
This is a
I mean,
conversation
6
I had with-
generations, but like 300 years. What is that? I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah,
Nah.
and Texas,
Nah.
California, Nevada. Yeah, it's the whole pretty
Gadsden
much
Purchase. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a whole conversation I was having with a friend of mine from Atlanta not too long ago too, where I was
Atlanta.
like, where
Atlanta.
I was trying to explain
Hotlanta.
where I was trying to explain to him the cultural difference too, and I was like, so when people ask you where you're from, what do you say? Atlanta, and then what do they say? Oh, it must be really hot.
Yeah.
You know what they say
Follow up.
when it's me? You know, no, but really,
Really.
but really.
So I've learned to. Well, it's
Spain.
It's why I have no friends and people hate me. I like to mess with people. People who do that and mother-in-law. There's something if you say anything out of the norm, it just fries their brain. So just say
Macedonia.
anything. Every time I go like, oh, I'm originally from Germany, and they can't say anything. It just.
This is
But I mean, where's your when did they move?
Oh no, my family came from Switzerland and the Netherlands. Yeah.
There's actually
my mom's French.
There's
I just keep adding stuff that just fries their brain, and it just stops the conversation cold. And then they leave.
I was actually born on a satellite.
Yeah.
That was just orbiting the moon.
You know that they went from Switzerland to the
I'm actually not from around here.
Let's bring it back to Nick. Let's bring it back to Nick. Okay. All right. So you leave San Francisco. You have the brilliant idea of coming to LA to do theater.
In Los Angeles.
How did that work out for you, sir? Doing theater in Los Angeles.
I did a Marie Irene Fornés play above a sushi restaurant in Silver Lake.
Nice.
venue.
Some crazy, like,
straight hipster.
kind of Dario Fo, like, feeling just absurd, just throwing quotes at each other. I mean, it was crazy. I did it. And, over the years, I've been able to do some theater. But, you know what? I was fortunate enough. I moved to the beach. I grew up
Do you miss it?
I grew up in Texas. What?
Theater?
Yes. It's definitely something that what I felt was the film and TV was the way that you got the better theater, because that's now, unfortunately, the thing is selling tickets. And
it is. Yeah.
You get a career in film and TV, and then you can
sell
hopefully parlay that into a good, theater career. And at the same time, like having a show, that's then the nice time to then, during that hiatus, either do a play or a movie. And, Hill Harper, who's on The Good Doctor, is doing a play in New York. And I hopefully don't know much about it yet. He sent me the link and all, but I can't wait to catch him in it. He's a badass. That's Spike Lee's original crew, and I mean, he's great. But that's the dream, is being able to really get back to it. Because for me, that's what I love. I mean, we didn't talk about in that moment, but for me on stage in that first performance, there's a moment. If you're lucky, sometimes where you feel like it's happening again for the first time. And you're there and you're in it, and it's just everything is your body's buzzing,
electrified,
you're feeling the emotions of something, and it's raw. I'm not saying it was good by any means, but to me, I was feeling it, and I wanted that feeling, and I finally understood all those years that I appreciated theater. I love to watch. I love to go to concerts. I love artists performing. I ate it up, but what I realized was that I wanted to do that and make people feel that way, but I didn't know at the time. I just got an angst when I did it, where I just to make people feel like that, but I didn't know that's something you do. Now these days, there's an acting class on every corner in every city in the United States, and someone will gladly take headshots of you, and the dreams of Hollywood and Kardashian, all that kind of BS is everywhere. But at that time, in the 80s, growing up as a kid, it wasn't there, and it's a world away.
Yeah.
So I never once
Even in the early 2000s, when I first came out here, it was just like I couldn't believe.
Yeah, it was
I was in LA. I was in Hollywood.
I come from South Central Texas. Going to the beach was a big thing, even though it was like a couple hours drive for us. That you went on holidays and special occasions. So I said I'm going to go live on the beach, and I lived literally right on the boardwalk at 2 Breeze Avenue. Ellie, what's that guy's name that owns all the property all over Los Angeles, but especially on the west side? It's literally like
Veronica's future husband.
I don't.
Something like that.
Is he available?
Veronica's Googling that right now as we speak.
I was like, is he attractive?
Does he have sons?
But where the drum circle is.
Okay.
I
know where. I know where you
was all these years. It's probably in the same place. There's a big iconic red brick building, and I moved into that on. I think it was 402. Sometimes I still get or 204. Still get like residuals from the first SAG project I did that went to that address and bounced back to me for some reason. They find me when they need my dues. For some reason, they can't find me when they need to pay me.
Here's the other thing about those SAG residuals. I look it up on the site every once in a while, and I see what's coming
The fair
to me.
tracker, I would never do that. I want to be surprised.
And, I love that. But sometimes I'm just like,
$11.
why are you guys holding that big check? They're sending me 14 cents, but the big check they're like holding on for weeks.
Yeah.
The 15 cents.
Yeah.
Send
me that check.
The 15 cents.
I got a 12-cent check yesterday, which was fun.
Good.
Like, I'm not even gonna cash this.
I didn't even.
No, I've gotten 0.
Oh,
What?
You guys have never gotten
I've gotten
zero?
that one.
No.
I've gotten the
I was gonna
0
say,
one.
all right.
No.
I've gotten the 0 1. Not
so
worth
funny.
the paper it's printed on.
Literally.
Not with the stamp that it was
What's
sent
that on?
and everything, and it's $0 because after they take out, because it's normally before
Taxes.
incorporated, and it's after
Yeah.
all the deductions and everything.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
why
bull.
can't they do that?
Okay, that's my goal now.
Direct deposit.
I deposited that someday.
No.
I don't want to mess up their account. You know how difficult that is.
I would-
And they got to call and be like, "Hey,
No.
this check, did you cash it?"
Oh,
yet?"
Out of spite,
you're
I would put it on my
No.
mirror in my bathroom.
You're so nice. No, I
We're
would
just trying to
have.
make life easy.
I
There's a
would've-
bar in the valley that would have given you a free beer for a residual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved to just. I would have just done it just to see the cashier's face. Like, yeah, I want to deposit that. You should. Yeah,
Yeah.
deposit that.
And then
Here's the thing.
just takes
honestly,
it.
They've seen it.
They-
I've talked to him before, and when I have 2 cents, I'm
damn.
like,
That's not
They're
fun.
like, I've seen 0. I'm like, yeah.
Okay, so I got a new goal. Get that 0 check and go to Nebraska and deposit it at the local branch.
All right, here's a
for my
question that
Nebraska.
all of my students keep on asking me, and I don't know. I got my SAG card years ago. They're always asking, how do I get my SAG card? How did you get
How do
yours?
they even get agents these days? That's
I don't
what
know.
get.
Social media.
It's a
Social
No,
media.
but seriously,
You've
like,
got
Yeah,
to
no,
have
I'm being
everything.
serious.
Tricky.
Yeah, I'm
You
being
have to
serious.
it was
have-
already a catch-22 before.
Yeah.
It was already like you had to have work to get work, and you're like, but that's what I can't
you-
get because
Yeah.
I need an agent.
Yeah,
It
you
was
can't have
already
it.
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
But what you did was you came in town, you bought the role from Samuel French that
Yep.
had every
Yep.
agent
Yep.
on it.
Yep.
You printed up all these headshots, you printed up all the resumes,
Yep.
you Palatino 16 because
Mass
you didn't
mail.
have a lot of credits. But you
Yeah.
wanted to fill the page.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
every like training you've done.
Yep. Every
And
class.
you sent it off in these masks, and then you got an answer back, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, that's how it was done.
Yeah. And
But
we still
now-
had black and white headshots
Yeah.
back then, too.
Yeah.
Agents don't want to take people.
No.
don't-
No,
and
they-
for some reason-
It's a lot of social media driven right now.
Yeah,
which
there's
is
a lot of social,
social
media.
media.
That
Yeah,
is,
yeah, you're right.
lot of
Mierda.
Yeah, they do ask like how
Google
many
that
like,
word,
followers
kids.
do you have?
Mierda. Yeah, but it's a lot of social media, and I said it because I had to do. I'm helping a friend cast a show right now, and he went independent because the people he was working with were basically looking at the actors, great credits, going through. I hate doing casting. It is my hell.
It's
I have
grueling.
so much respect for casting directors.
Oh man, I'll do it for. I know
Yeah.
so many lovely actors. I love to
Yeah.
like
Exact-
put people in parts. When
Yeah.
I get cast, I'm probably the most annoying person because I'm like, hey, I know somebody who can do this. Yeah, so-and-so for this.
No, but that's
I
how
want
that's
to work with people I trust.
Right,
yeah,
right.
and that's how I am. But
Proven.
when you have to hold a casting session, it's like the
Yeah.
worst odds ever because 80 people come in and maybe 2 are good. But I digress. The point is, the production company he was working with was just pushing every actor we wanted. Was like, no, this person doesn't have this or doesn't have enough followers, and it's like,
Oh, the followers. Is,
yeah, and it's like,
it's BS these days.
Yeah.
For that to have to be a job right now for an actor, I mean, and I've heard this from other actors that I've worked with the series regulars. Does the network is telling it now gives you what to post, or gives you a publicist to post that will
Well,
post
they'll
for you? Right?
they'll send you out like stuff
They'll-
like
right.
you post and all that. I mean, it's
that
by
makes
no
it a little bit
means-
easier.
You don't have to, but here's the thing: is like for our show, we're their worst nightmare. I mean, it's a hit and it's doing so well and it's worldwide and it, honestly, it's this weird phenomenon. And I'm like the person who probably, well, no, actually, I'm not anymore, but who posts. But Freddie Highmore, the only accounts he has is that they made them so they knew the other ones weren't real.
Yeah.
But he never posts. He doesn't do anything. Super private.
Yeah.
The other ones kind of have a following just because they're kind of cool English actors who,
yeah,
you know,
It's
people
a-
want to follow them, and
Yeah.
they're cooler, and they don't need to post all the time, and maybe once every 6, they don't care.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like medium level followers. There's not like any crazy numbers, and everybody, you know, there's not a lot of people who post on set. Although now we've just added some cast who they're like, hey, you know, all
Yeah.
the time
Yeah.
stories and all that, and you know, and they have their following.
Oh, when you're a guest
But we're their
star, you're
worst-
posting all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Look who I'm with.
Yeah.
Selfie.
We're their worst nightmare though,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everybody's just not like that on this show, and you know, for big, you know, network like, and I mean,
ABC.
ABC, they they want that interaction and stuff. So we kind of were disappointing that way.
Yeah. And I think I heard an interview with a showrunner, and he was purposely the Ralph. I'm going to plug
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Garman, the Ralph Report. The Ralph Report. He did he did an hour and a half interview with the showrunner, and he said, "No, I purposely love British actors because of that very thing. They come in, they do the work, and they're focused on the work. That's it. Right. That's the reason, and that's why he always casts a lot of British people in his shows."
I'm going to London next month, and I'm going to be doing a Meisner workshop while I'm out there.
No, wow.
I'm pretty stoked.
I didn't know he was still alive.
No, some guy that studied with him, apparently.
No, they kept him as a zombie.
Roll him in a bed with IVs.
I'm excited.
I realize it's going to be a weekend of just repetition.
Yeah,
pretty much. A weekend.
Yeah, but
it's going to feel like I did it all over again.
You did it all over.
But at least you can say you
did it all over again.
You did it all over again.
I did it all over again.
You did it all over again.
So how are you, Landis?
So kids, what they're doing right now for you new actors, it's called a Meisner technique.
Sorry, I just went all Meisner with my boyfriend.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, at least you can geek out and say, I did it in London.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. For me, it's like I'm going to go learn somebody else's kung fu.
Basically, RADA trained.
Yeah.
Basically.
By the way, you can now say that.
Now I can say that.
You're like, well, when I was at RADA.
Nice.
But I would say it more like this. When I was at RADA.
I have a question. Okay, so you have a pretty good career. Did you ever have a downturn, like when you first came out here? Did you have a struggle, or were you just very fortunate? Because I'm looking at your IMDb.
I was extremely fortunate. Have I had struggle and downturn? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And right now is like a huge phoenix rising to me. I mean, look, I've been fortunate enough that Resurrection Boulevard was such a gift that it was at the end of my first year.
Okay.
I started off waiting tables here. I moved to the beach. Living in a little tiny place, accepting every invitation you got to try to meet someone, that's going to change something. And thankfully things started going, and you slowly wean yourself off the commercial thing, and then gradually leave the waiting positions behind. But it was Resurrection Boulevard that really kind of solidified that for me, and having 3 seasons that put me in a nice position to then kind of hit. But here's the thing: is like you get spoiled doing a show and thinking that that's the way the world is, and that you can change your lines, and that it's a big family all the time, and well, it's only going to be up from here, right? I'm not going to go down from this, and it sustained me through a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of times there was a lot of times where there was a lot of promise of things that were going to happen, or an excitement that there was big agencies and managers that pulled me away from the beautiful, amazing people that I started with. That if I could have kept it all together, in retrospect, I would have. But you get caught up in something, and then you don't become a star quick enough for them, and then you're still kind of dabbling, and then as you get older, and you're like, well, I don't know. I'm working, but I feel like after a while, like I had a house for a little bit, so you started taking jobs to pay for the house, but you didn't have a family because you weren't fully engaging in life, because to fully engage in life meant to step away from this thing that was like you feel like you had at times a 5 in 10 chance, sometimes an 8 in 10 chance of this lottery card that was going to hit. So why weren't you going to sit here and keep playing? Because every time you make a plan and you book a ticket, you land something, and it may not always be a deal, but it's something, and it keeps it's like golf, it's this hit that keeps you getting out there and playing, and acting can be like that, but knowing that, is this the way it's going to be? Because I know I'm fortunate, I know I want to continue doing this, but sometimes you just want to finally get that thing where you're working on something you love, you're getting the respect that you feel like. Sometimes honestly, when you go deep down, you feel like you don't deserve, because it's always like, you're like, I'm a fraud, please don't even
Don't look at me, don't look at me.
But that's what
every artist feels that way.
Yeah, but that's what I want to get to, because part of this podcast is we all have pop culture messes things up, and they give us the illusion of what things are. But
social media does.
In social media, does. We always see the best parts of everyone's
We see
life.
the red carpet.
Whenever friends I run into, I'm like, hey man, I'm like, wow, life's going. He's like, Well,
Yeah. It's
social
like,
media
the highlights on social
adds
media.
to that.
Right.
Exactly.
From 3
But
years ago.
It's good for the people to hear that even a person as accomplished as you have that doubt, like, oh God, do I really deserve this? Am I really belong?
After a while, you feel like a hired gun, like a mercenary, and you're always on other people's projects, and it's not always ideal. Or then they come up to you, hey, how do you feel about an accent? Hey, now suddenly the names change. You're like, it's just, there's always but. And it was always the but. And after a while, I just kind of wanted to not have, very grateful for, where I was, but still feeling like I want to get rid of the but.
Yeah.
And it feels like that now. But it's just, there's always something else. There's always something. There's always another level. There's always the next part. There's always the questioning, because the problem is, if that's what you're relying on for your happiness, you're always going to be looking for it, or unhappy, or only having moments. And and I know we're simpatico on this, Jorge, is that when you can finally focus outside yourself, because unfortunately that's just what business is. You're the business.
Yeah, you are your own product.
That's what you have to focus on. But when you can finally outward be like, how am I going to change shit around me? How am I just going to make life better for other people?
Yeah.
Now, and on so many different levels. It doesn't mean you have to, change the world, but if you can change something around, or even just for somebody, then everything seems to just kind of fall
being
in
of
line,
service.
And you realize that's what it's about. Exactly.
It's something of service, something that I've always really respected of you, and why I feel like we are so. Is that service? Nicholas, for a long time, was heading the blood drive for the Children's Hospital, and now, and what you're working with other stuff now, right?
Right. I mean, my main, I feel that with charities, I want to see a difference with the money. I want to know where it goes.
Yep.
I don't,
Understandable.
All the overhead and all that. I don't want a big headquarters in North Carolina. I want to see it change. So for me, it was very easy. There was a acting coach who I love and adore, has now been a friend, who married me and my wife.
Really?
Named Lee Kilton Smith.
Oh,
and she,
awesome.
Who also is one who, stresses service over anything else, and as a way to escape. She, oh my God, I'm blanking out. Where was
charities,
Charity,
money.
service.
You wanted to watch where the money was going.
Right. Yes.
Cool.
Exactly. Money was going, because there's so many different directions I can go with that woman.
Yeah.
That's why I
Like, narrow it down.
I want to give actors tools and
Right.
things like hacks that I've learned. It's from that woman.
Life hacks.
But she has an orphanage, and her and her husband, when they either decided they weren't going to have kids or weren't able, decided that they were going to adopt this orphanage down in Tijuana.
Oh, wow.
The bigger organization now is called Corazón de Vida, that they didn't start or anything, but that this orphanage is under this umbrella. But the orphanage in particular is called El Faro, the Lighthouse. And that's in Tijuana. And about 10 years ago, I was taking there. And it's charities like that and Children's Hospital, I say, because I see directly where the money went.
Right.
If I was able to, at one point in the heyday of poker and celebrity pokerism here in Hollywood, I was able to kind of do tournaments and have money brought over.
You came in
the
second
orphanage.
on a tournament, didn't you?
On what's it called? On
The
World
Poker
Tour. Yeah, the WPT.
World Poker Tour.
Whoa.
My New York was about to come out.
When I got money for them, I saw exactly where it went.
Yeah.
They're like, we need a new stove, and then boom, there's a stove.
There's
the
a
next
stove.
weekend I was down
It's
there.
a picture.
So that and the Children's Hospital, I felt like I saw the kids. I saw what difference it made, and these kids needed blood transfusions daily and multiples. So it's not a hard equation to say,
And that's what keeps you going when other things aren't going. Because I know that's what's always kept me going.
Well, how are you supposed to portray a life,
right?
And at times a rich life, depending on what the character is, if you're just sitting around waiting for life to happen.
No experience. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think, and you hit something that
you have rich work.
Yeah, that I want everyone listening to get, because it's a common thread with everyone we've interviewed that says you have to live your life.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing this career, it's a job, but you have to live your life. You can't put your life on hold for this, because if not, you're just, like you said, it's like a drug.
You know,
You're just in
Lee Kilton Smith has this audition theory class, and she always starts it off with, you know, she has everybody break out a piece of paper, and she starts, at some point during it, she has everybody write out the phrase, and she says that work will find me mid-step, mid-dance, mid-travel, you know, all these things that life, it will find me in the midst of that, and I can step away from my incredible life and go do this work that I love to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it will find me, and trust that it will find me, that I don't have to sit here and say no to everything about going home to see family, being at your friend's wedding. How many of us, like, weren't the best man or weren't a groomsman or a
my brother's wedding. I missed my brother's wedding.
You know what? And, it's totally, and they understand me.
I've
we
missed
totally
a lot of
understand
birthdays.
because it's an opportunity. But we miss, life goes by.
Yeah.
And those are the moments when it's difficult that you still show up that make all the difference. And we miss that because we sacrifice for this uncertainty for a part that might even be cut, that might not even be regarded as anything.
Yeah.
And there's a nobility in it, but at the same time,
simultaneously,
what good is that? When,
but there still needs to be some sort of sacrifice, don't you think? I mean, we do give up.
We do sacrifice security.
Yeah,
we sacrifice security. We do sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, going out for the fifth friend's birthday in the same month, or going out on a Tuesday or Wednesday night and getting loaded until 2 a.m.
Well, actually, back in the late '90s, those were the only nights to go out. Nobody went out on the weekends in Hollywood unless you were a total newbie.
newbie.
That's when a lot of blow was being floated around too.
So I heard, but the funny thing is, I always wonder why people disappear from the battle.
I've had it thrown in my face.
For some reason,
I've had it thrown in my face.
Literally,
you went to the good parties.
Oh no, I was a caterer. I didn't go to the party. It's thrown in my face.
He's like, I was not participating.
Oh,
it was with the servants.
It was Oh
downstairs.
God, that's a whole nother podcast. But that's the thing. We do sacrifice, but it's the thought that you have to keep it in your head that this is just a job. It's not it's not what we do. It's not my happiness cannot be contingent on what we do. Like I still have to live a life and get married if I want to, have kids if I want to, travel if I want to.
Look, if they can be the same thing, great.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And a lot of people then can do that.
Yeah, but
that's amazing.
But I feel because a lot of younger friends are like, "You're crazy. You have a kid. How do you do it? It's a job. I still do it. It's just I'm not going to stop living."
Well, I mean, the other thing,
Time schedule.
it services your art because you can't fake experience.
No,
if you don't have the experience, I mean, you can't. How are you going to dive into a role? How are you going to dive into someone else's story when you haven't lived your own story?
No, and it's the basic thing of motivation. It's like, what am I doing this for? If it's not to live my life, there's no purpose to it. Like I do a film, I write a show, great. But if it's not to either give my daughter a better life or just have to, or be able to have the money to go and travel and see my family in Puerto Rico, or like last year where they took all my money because they lost everything. That's what I'm doing this for. Yes, I'm having fun. Yes, I love what I do, but there has to be more because when this is gone and eventually it's gone, it's like what I was telling my brother. My family's very military, and my brother's always the very stringent right when it's like, oh, you guys and your Oscars, and I had to explain to him, why we party so hard when we get those awards? Because we don't even know if we have a job the next day.
Yeah.
There is no job security. I have no job security. So when I get any recognition, I'm going to enjoy it because the next day I could be out.
Yeah.
You know what you need to read, man? I need to send you, Ramon de Ocampo. Ramon de Ocampo. Yeah.
Yeah.
De Ocampo.
De Ocampo.
De Ocampo. Yeah. Ramon de Ocampo. He's part Filipino. But it's so funny. They always have all the Latino names we share.
Yeah.
With the Filipinos.
Right.
Because we were all fighting in the
I worked
theater,
with,
though, too. My grandfather was out there.
Yeah.
He actually wrote this brilliant, I won't say an essay, but like a post about being a blue collar worker, like we are the blue collar, and that that this thing lately about Hollywood elitists and calling actors that, and he kind of really took umbrage with that because he said, look, we're the true blue collars, we're the ones that are going check to check, and look when it works.
It works.
It's solid.
But the majority of us are unemployed and are living check to check.
We're like prize fighters. We're like UFC. Yeah, we go from
in a romanticized way. We'd be a prize fighter.
I bought my robot.
I feel sometimes like I'm fighting from.
It's really the true, like the people that are living like a lot of people in the middle of America that don't know where their next meal is going to come from, not sure about things, unsure about having children, doing it anyway because we have to live.
Yeah.
But and he said, and who do you think is going to tell your story?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
So you better wake up. And it's a really interesting.
please
You got to
send
read
that
it. It's a beautiful piece he wrote. I've shared it before.
Yeah, share it. Send me the link. But no, it's like my degree is actually biochemistry, and I long story, another podcast why I ended up at acting.
Of course, that's why you're wearing a Spider-Man suit.
right.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, but the reason it was one of my professors. There's this class called a block that you need to graduate. It's broken out into 2 semesters. It's 4 professors, and if you flunk the first one, you got to delay your graduation for the next year. I passed it with a C-. I don't know how the hell because I didn't give a damn. But the best thing that one of the professors said is like the arts are really important to everything, because how do you think the people who make shit get the ideas to make the shit?
We tell the stories. We are the record keepers.
It's like there will be...
We keep the history.
Yeah, the reason why... And he explained it in his term, because a lot... When you go into a science field, they're like, oh, no, we're not now, but in the early 2000s when I graduated, it was like, oh, no, we're science. We don't have time for anything else. We got to do this. We got to do that. Like we do. Like, oh, I have enough time, anything for us. I just got to study this and study that. But he taught us to be diverse and see everything, because a good scientist, like a good artist, needs to know a lot to get that creativity going. And he made it the best way because he was also a geek. It's like there would not be a cell phone without Star Trek. There would not be automatic doors without Star Trek. There would not be the space race.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Okay.
Right.
I mean,
He's drunk.
He's had half a glass of wine himself.
It's
I have half a glass of wine
Strong.
and 2 hours of sleep because I have a 2-year-old.
Because you're going to kick yourself tomorrow.
Yeah.
Back to Nick.
Shrek.
Back to Nick. So I mean, well, you're definitely living your life now. You have you're happily married.
Right? But that honestly, it's very easy for a man to remain a boy in Hollywood.
This is true.
You can be 50 and
Peter
up in the
Pan.
club, and honestly, no one's probably going to look askance.
Yeah.
But when I met my wife, I was single for I think 38 years, and in LA. I mean, granted, relationship throughout, but meaning never been married or anything. And you meet an amazing person, and I know she turned to me because I was always like, well, what if this and what if that? I'm that guy who stands in the middle and has so many choices around that I don't want to pick any because it means I can't do any of the other.
Right.
And that's like put me in this paralysis. And she saw through all that, and she said, look, life's going to pass you by. You can choose to live it, or so many amazing things out there, and I'm really afraid it's going to pass you by. Stand here and I don't know what you're waiting for or what. And it takes a lot to. We're almost trained that way. Also, this business does that to you.
It does. I mean, I can honestly say,
I'm not where I want to be yet. Yeah, all those kind of things.
I can honestly say I've been falling into that trap myself over the last couple of years. Like I went through one of those major league breakups where I was like, okay, I'm done for a little bit. I'm just going to concentrate on my career.
You were dating a baseball player?
No.
It was a very, very short stint.
That's my
League of My Own.
Favorite movie.
Yeah, it's a good one. They're supposed to be making a show off of that right now, actually.
Really?
They're making a TV show.
I really like that movie.
But I went through that, and then I just put my head down and just said, okay, fine, career. And I found my life passing me by, and then just just this past year, like January 1st, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to start living my life again. And the next thing I know, I met this incredible woman.
Woodwork, right?
Yeah, I meet an incredible. She just came out of nowhere. This incredible woman that I'm hanging out with. I'm like totally gaga over, and now we're going to London together. And it's just, I'm living my life again. Yes.
Heart symbols with fingers.
With
fingers.
Yeah.
So cute.
So the Grinch has a heart. What do you want?
Yeah, but good. But it's good that people listen to this because a professional like you, anyone coming to this town sees your IMDb and goes like, oh, this guy. Look at this guy.
Oh, he's got it all.
But it's good for them to hear that even at that level, you still have those same insecurities and doubts as everyone else starting out because we're in a weird business that we have no job security. There's really no like pension.
And
Really,
one of the most expensive.
Expensive,
yeah.
But even the business side is like,
well, you're entering an industry that does not want you.
yeah,
That's what you have to know from the top. The industry does not want you. There is no ad on Craigslist that says, we need a guest star for The Good Doctor. You know, you have to go through a process.
Yeah.
There are breakdowns, but it's surely not a help wanted sign.
no,
They want you. You know, they need to buy what they're buying is your passion. What they're buying is the you that no one else can do, and that's the one thing that we always hold back because we don't think we're enough. So let's put on a construct and let's overact. Let's be bad actors because we have to do more than this because this can't be enough. This can't be enough for my wife. This can't be enough for love. This can't be enough. What do I deserve because of all the, you know, the voice you haven't. Hopefully, God, I hope you guys feel the same because otherwise,
we're all listening. We're with
the
you.
silence is nodding in solidarity.
Well, they're all looking at me with like, what is he talking about?
Definitely nodding.
We're with you.
I'm like the most insecure people go into acting.
But you know, that's what is everybody. You know?
Yeah.
And the more people realize that's you know that's the way it is for everyone. You know.
yeah. But again, it comes down to listening to because when we get in front of the camera, when we get into an interview, we show the best side of us. They don't hear inside of our heads, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Oh, please
did I
don't
do that
hear.
right? What did I say? Did I say something wrong?
I should have wore my hair up. Dang
Damn
it.
it.
Should wear the blue dress.
But they want your passion. You know. There's not many people can do what you know. They can't do you. And that's the thing is like we always think it's a part that's so different from me. Everyone wants to be Gary Oldman. You know, look, there's some people who are just geniuses among us. To be able to create characters. And I envy them, and I strive for it. And, I hope that someday, but a lot of times it's a matter of the more you can bring you into a role, they can't replicate that. And it's either going to be right or it's not.
Yeah.
And they could be wrong, whatever. The point is, sometimes you're just not the person for it.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not the puzzle piece they're looking for.
But they don't even know what they're looking for sometimes. But eventually, it's just you're not. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean if I could only have done this, I could. If I could only know what they wanted. A lot of times they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
You know, I spent. You talk about the IMDb. I spent, a great many years trying to be right.
Yeah.
A great many years going, okay, this is what they want, and you know what? And maybe I was sometimes, but honestly, a lot of it I felt was like being what I thought they wanted me to be, or shaving off a lot, cutting off the tops and bottoms and giving something that was right in the pocket of like, well, that's a detective, that's a guy I believe is this and that, but leaving out the gilded edges that make it something different or make it something that no one else can do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to throw a lot of stuff on, it just means sometimes you got to let life come through and you don't try to strive for being perfect.
Yeah.
There's so many opinions
You're
as to
gonna
what
fail.
is right too that are coming at you.
Because there is no right.
Because there is no right, but
There's
everybody
equal
thinks
seeing
it.
this.
But
All
everybody
these
else. I mean, you go.
options.
Have you ever gone to an acting coach that just totally said, "Oh no, you're completely wrong. Do it this way"?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you done that? Before an audition, right?
Name names.
That started making me go, make me hesitant to make choices.
Rather
I'm
than
like,
helping me bring out what I already have, I've gone. That's why I've stopped coaching. I'd rather just do things with my friends. I'd rather run lines with my friends than go to certain acting coaches, because you walk into that room and all of a sudden they're like, "No, do it this way." Well, then how do I?
Well, the thing is, you're never really going to know what it is. I mean, I'll be very honest with you. I mean, and the point when leading up to even The Good Doctor, but like the last few years, I was just very active during pilot season, and there was, I felt like I needed a lot of that. I did a lot of investing, putting back into my career of sometimes I just needed someone to go, you're not crazy. Okay,
that is necessary.
Do that,
And be good.
Yeah.
it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Or that was actually excited me a little bit. You're thinking out of the box more. Or Sometimes I needed that. Sometimes the repetition. I needed to get my lines down, and that was another way, an expensive way, but another way to get me to sit and do my work that for some reason I always want to do, but yet you put off until the last minute sometimes.
Speaking of which, you have a lot of procedural sides to do. How do you get that down? Jesus.
Right.
So that's actually one of my side jobs. Is I do actually go to actors' house and just run lines over and over and over.
Right. I have an actress friend who told me about that when we were pilot season, because, you'd have like 4 a day sometimes.
Yep.
And and they also got to see, like, what is it like when, how does someone else prepare? What are they doing? I think it's invaluable. And actors to work together, too. I had a network of friends that I did that with. But a friend of mine did that where she worked with a younger actor and had them, or another actor and had them, run lines with them and, like, paid job.
Yeah, paid for time and something that I absolutely love working with this particular friend is like he starts doing a read and I'm like, okay, so cool if I give my suggestion. Okay, cool. So this is the question that you need to ask yourself, and I'm curious about this over here. And then he's like, oh, that's good. I didn't consider that. And then like he just goes deeper and deeper, and it's like my script analysis becomes like tenfold just by watching them. And because when you're on the other side and prepping for an audition, you're not seeing everything. For some reason, you're stuck on these choices, and you're like, how did I miss that completely? Is like because the camera's not on me, so I feel like there's like the freedom for me to be able to find all these other things missed. So,
right. And so many times when I've worked with coaches, I felt that,
of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the most obvious. But I'm like kicking myself, going, how shit am I that I didn't even think of that?
Yep.
Again, the voices come in, but you're like, I feel like the more I've worked with somebody and done that, I felt like I was investing back in my career. So for me, it was something that was very fruitful and worked out.
When you get the right one, it works. When you get the right one, it works. I'm not going to deny that at all. I do have one that I do go to constantly for,
sometimes
for
friends
my
have
major
a hard
stuff.
time of getting us out of, they don't know either sometimes, or they, it's hard to tell each other.
Yeah, but there are those out there who
stop doing this thing.
So that's why I don't have friends. Okay. That's good to know.
No, there are a lot of reasons for that.
Okay.
Well, that's another podcast.
We're gonna need more wine.
True. But okay, so we're gonna start wrapping this up. I always like to ask this question: what would you like, your ideal project? What would you like in the future? Like, what are you working towards?
I feel like I'm on it right now. That's a question I was always asked, and I kind of feel, God, I need that project in my pocket, which I do anyway, because opportunities come about and things go well, and suddenly people are asking, what do you do? And they're actually real possibilities. And I see so many friends like pitching and selling shows and doing things, and I feel like that's another part of the business that I never really took as much advantage of as I could have, because I was waiting on this other side.
Yeah.
Another part of not living. But I mean, I've always wanted to do a Western.
Yeah.
Right?
See?
Who hasn't?
Right.
Nice.
And I've always had this idea to do like a Young Guns, like but just all strictly Latino and like different backgrounds. Like, you have the escaped Caribe slave, you have like the defected Spanish soldier.
Yeah.
Like, and for some reason, and we like maybe placed it in Texas during the land grab, and like maybe someone was displaced and had to fight their way out,
All right, I'll have a script for you next week.
Okay. I see.
like
do
it.
it.
See, but
Let's do it.
the reason I like to ask that is because every time as a writer, when you go into a writer's room to pitch a meeting, they'll always say no to your show, but the next question is, what else do you have? What would you like to know? And I find that you need to know that. It doesn't matter what it is. They just want to know that you have a plan.
No.
And a lot of people
my
like
wife's
you.
dad asked me that.
See?
What would be your idea? And I was like,
See, you
Yeah.
have
had that like
Should have it in my
there's
back
this
pocket.
guy,
Yeah.
in Marshall, Texas, and he was a golf coach for these
Immigrants.
migrant farm workers' children who
Is
ended
attacked
up
by
winning
lamp
this golf
monsters.
championship in
Okay.
Texas, which actually happened.
All right.
And like if you have that inspiring story, I always wanted to play it.
I always wanted to
He
do
was
that,
alcoholic, he
yeah.
struggled.
Mine has always been like, the Boricuaneers, the 64th Infantry of Puerto Rico.
Or
the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
in
the
Korea.
Aztec
No.
Eagles,
Yeah.
who were like
Yeah. The
fighter
Tuskegee
brigade, the Air Force
Airmen, and
during the World War II.
Yeah. No, my goal as a writer and director is to make a film depicting Christopher Columbus as the evil bastard that he really is, and not the fictional thing that we celebrate here. Because he's a dick.
That got real.
He's a dick. I got very real. All right, very real.
All right.
No more
are you going to do 60 seconds?
Yeah, 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Yeah.
You want to give me some time?
Wait a minute. Is it we're not doing the 90 seconds?
You want to do 90 seconds? Let's do 90 seconds.
Veronica, do you know what 90 seconds is?
Hey, yes.
Okay. This was a problem we had last time.
Listen to the last podcast. Don't give anything away. Listen to the last
Listen to
podcast
the
if you want
last
that story.
podcast.
All right?
90 seconds. 90 seconds.
You guys are terrible.
All right.
You
So,
guys are
Nick,
terrible.
I'm going to ask you some questions. They're either going to be true or false or just the first thing that comes to your head.
False.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Long
Go.
sleeve.
And go.
True or false? Despite 8 nominations, director Martin Scorsese has never won an Oscar.
True.
False. True or false? If a female ferret does not have sex for a year, she will die.
True.
True. True or false?
That one.
For her role in Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Penelope Cruz became the first Mexican actress to receive an Oscar.
She's not Mexican. She's Spanish. False.
Yes. True or false? Camels have 3 sets of
Penelope.
eyelids.
They have what?
Camels have 3 sets of eyelids.
Oh, that's true. Especially for sandstorms.
Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that one.
One's iridium. Remember that from Oakley's back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah.
Brand new flavor in your ear.
Name your first crush.
Marlena Kunikoff.
Okay.
He
The
knows
name
her.
just sounded sexy.
Okay, you tell me later. Continue.
No.
90 seconds. Continue.
30 seconds.
What inanimate object do you wish you could eliminate from existence?
Say it.
Say it.
iPhone.
Oh.
Nice.
Controversial. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
The disgust.
False. It's a hot dog.
The
True or
disgust.
false? Kangaroos have 3 vaginas.
Oh, that's true.
Why does everyone know the obscure ones?
5 seconds.
You have your rabbit holes, I have mine. So there's subreddits.
True or false? Chuck Norris' first name is Carlos.
False.
True.
Really?
His first name is.
Wait.
Is he-
That
Chuck
racist,
Norris's first
Whoa.
name is Carlos.
That racist mofo. His name is
changed it?
Carlos?
Son of a bitch.
How about
I
that?
worked on
That
worked
white
on,
nationalist?
Walker, Texas Ranger.
I was young Teo, the boxer.
Alleged.
Nice.
Okay.
No, I was another name maybe. I
That
don't know. I was
okay, that mofo, that bigoted mother.
This is another
Allegedly.
podcast.
Allegedly.
No,
No, he
no,
actually is. No.
he is. Have you
But
seen?
he's a Carlos? No mames.
No, mames,
Carlos.
hey. His real name is Carlos.
Carlitos, wait.
Huh?
He
Self-hating some bitch.
Yeah, very much.
the cure to cancer is in
Wait, say that
Chuck
again.
Norris's Tears. Cure for cancer. is
That's
in Chuck
true.
Norris's Tears.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, when
One of the
he
things is
when he
never
does
cried.
push-ups, he doesn't push himself up. He pushes the world down.
True.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, true.
This is the world down.
So many better ones too, and I'm trying to remember.
That's a whole subreddit.
It's a whole, it really is. I think there's actually a
Chuck Norris doesn't sleep,
ChuckNorrisQuotes.com.
He waits.
He
Oh, no, there is.
He waits.
Yeah.
No. This
Norris
is
never
the
sleeps.
real site. Like I
No,
think
there is.
Chuck
Oh, yeah.
Norris
Yeah.
quotes.
We're not calling you a liar. We
No,
believe
there
you.
is.
Yeah,
we know,
yeah,
we
yeah.
know,
Why
we know
we all
that
know
there-
that. I've been there.
That's funny. We've been there. It's actually my homepage.
That's your homepage. We've been there.
Yes.
We've been there.
.org.
Oh, .org.
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 Who's got that?
Made it in Oregon.
Nick,
Some travel agent?
Somebody got it first. Yeah, they actually sell teeny beanie babies.
My heart aches for you.
Nick, we don't want to keep you too long. We've been having a freaking great time with you.
I have a wife and a baby. I
You
want
have
to be
a-
here all night with you guys.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. We try to keep
I feel
it.
you.
We try to keep
wait
it
a minute.
like an
How
hour
old,
20.
how old is your baby? How old is your baby?
She's 14 months.
Okay, cool. Mine's 2 years old. So
14
You
months.
always
What's
have
her
to
name?
one-up me.
I was gonna say the competition
you-
in his
Competition
voice.
here is loud.
okay, I know 2 people on a hit show that I'm not in. So yes, I'm gonna take what I can get. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay, I got one last question, really quick. How the hell do you memorize procedural sides with a baby around?
You know, my wife has been super supportive. She knows like when I need to work harder or not. Some of it is like a panic, you know, and it's in the moment. And for some reason, I have some predisposition for this stuff, like osmosis. But you know, I grew up around it. My father and my dad are both. I mean, my father,
That's great. You've got 2
my
fathers.
father
Wait a minute.
and my brother are both.
My father, my brother, my brother, my father, my father, my brother, my brother,
They're
my
both
father.
doctors and surgeons. So,
Oh, wow.
I grew up
Nice.
around these men, and it's just for some reason I honestly think there might be a bit of osmosis there. It's something that I always felt like I wanted to do, but
Right on.
never felt like I could maybe do it like my brother has, you know. And
now you play a doctor on TV.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have
Full
real
circle.
blood on you or real human
Never.
organs.
Well, you know,
in
I
your
have
hands.
run to like an accident before, and then like gotten there and realized that I
Oh.
don't know anything.
Actually, I really
Like,
don't
I have
actually
that
do this.
feeling towards them, like
It's
I
good.
and I feel like I can bring that
Life back into
gravitas
their
to the
body.
situation. But I ran up there, and then the blood, and I realized I'm actually not.
right,
And the
qualified.
victim is laying
Veronica-
there in their blood, in a pool of gasoline, going, Dr. Neil Melendez is going to save my
No,
life.
Veronica and I have our nice sketch. I can save you. Oh, no.
You really can't.
Oh,
You really can't.
No, I can't.
Okay, where is the technical advisor?
No. This is real.
Like
This is real.
This blood's gonna come out of
No,
my jeans, right? Right?
Yeah, I did 6 months of med school. It's harder. It's a harder life than actually acting. Like, you'll be broke longer for a long time.
A good buddy of mine graduated from medical school and
Yeah.
came out to act and write.
Yeah.
Comedian.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
a lot of it, yeah.
Now hosts American Ninja Warrior.
Ri-
Matt Eisman.
him?
He went to medical school with my brother.
Okay,
My brother
nice.
went full on.
So I'm not
and Matt
I'm not the
moved.
only one. I gave it 6 months
Well, there's
I realized, yeah, this ain't for me.
there's
did
also
it. He
Dr.
did it.
Ken.
He finished.
What's his
Doctor,
the guy-
yeah.
the dude from
Dr. Ken, yeah.
from
No,
the
it's-
Hangover movies. He's a
it's-
doctor.
Yeah, once you realize that it's like, oh, I gotta run a business and not really be a doctor. I gotta run a business. Like, oh, this ain't what I thought. Oh, so I can't save your life. You don't have insurance. Okay.
That's the big bummer of
Yeah.
my brother. He's like, that's the big downside of it all. Is dealing
Yeah.
with insurance and all that.
It makes it a
He's
hassle.
really over it. But.
Yeah, no, that's why. But I feel you. Yeah, but no, it's being a doctor is basically you're going to be broker than an actor for the next 15 years of your life until you maybe get a specialty that makes you money.
My brother, my
Yeah.
brother's definitely making money, but he said I gave my best years to it.
Exactly, that's your life. That
Yeah.
your
His-
residency,
his
your
30s
specialty.
was
Yeah,
like residency, specialty,
Yeah.
fellowship, all that.
all
and
that. Yeah, basically you may enjoy your 60s if you're lucky to get there.
Which, while he's swimming in his huge pool and his mansion, he can. Yeah,
It's well
I feel
earned.
really sorry for him. That's
Yeah.
kind of-
It's
gonna
well
say-
earned. It's well
I don't know.
earned.
I'll take my 20s and my 30s. I'll take
I'll
those.
definitely take my 20s. and
Yeah,
I'll-
exactly.
No, I absolutely love that we're ending this podcast on such a high note.
It's positive.
I'm poor.
It's positive. But no, thank you so much for doing this. We
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it. I know you're super busy.
I have
What?
nothing to do. Let's hang out.
Maybe not.
Your Instagram and your Twitter for everybody.
Instagram is
Social
at
media.
LTexMex, ELTEXMEX.
It's his
So
Instagram.
you're the one that took it.
That's his
Texas
Instagram.
Mexican.
Well, yeah.
And
On Twitter.
is at I am Nick Gonzales.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can watch you on The Good Doctor.
We
ABC.
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights.
ABC.
well,
Renew for
yeah, we'll see what happens this upcoming season. But,
Yeah, renew for a second season?
We premiere in, I would think, around
Oh, yeah.
September.
September?
What-
I don't know
Okay,
if we're
cool.
keeping the same night.
What time?
and all that.
8 and 8.
It's on the later side. It's
10 p.m.
10, 9, 6.
You know we can still hear you. We can still.
But it means more when I'm closer.
Okay. Good. No, I'm just letting now I know 2 people on that show, so it's cool. It's
Woo!
cool. And no,
You know.
yeah, huh? My friend who's a writer now on the show.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Well, you guys
on
can
it.
you guys can talk about
The
that
Asian
off
one that we
air.
can't
Off air,
say
yeah,
anything.
No name names.
Yeah, I can't do that.
We
But,
don't name the names.
but Veronica, would you like to tell people where they can follow us?
Yes. Okay. So we've got our own social medias. On Twitter, we are at Hurry LA Podcast. On Instagram, we are at Hurry LA Podcast. On Facebook, we are at Hurry LA Podcast.
Okay.
Is there apps? Mean,
I have
it's the
no
same
idea.
thing.
Actually, no,
Is it
there is. If you do,
www.facebook.com/.
actually, no, if you do in the
Hurry
search
LA
engine,
Podcast.
I'm pretty sure if you put at and then you start writing it, like your
everyone-
stuff pops
everyone
up.
uses it now.
Of course, Facebook is.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing now.
But yes, keeping it consistent at Hurry LA Podcast across the board
so
on all
listen,
social medias.
follow, subscribe, give comments.
Like, share, post.
share, comment, good or bad. I don't care.
We read all of them.
All of it.
All
all
of
of
it.
it. All of it.
All of it.
So thank you, and let's sign off.
Tacos are delicious.
I'm Jorge-Luis, but whoa, that got loud real fast.
Yeah, you got
I was
loud.
like, that was the
All right, so
button
let's-
for the episode.
Take it again. We're not editing that at all.
Because that's going to be edited.
Okay,
right?
so
All right,
no,
let me
no, it's
stop.
not. But
All
okay,
right.
we're gonna edit.
All
No,
right,
it's
we're
not.
going to edit.
All right,
Anyway,
go
so
ahead.
there you
Sign
go.
off.
All right, shall I sign off?
Sign
All right.
off.
Jorge-Luis Bayo.
Veronica Roy.
And Landis Aponte.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Our engineer
How
had
often
that
do you
shit
guys
in.
do this?
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Just so you know, we post and drop new episodes every other Monday starting June 4th. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at HurryLAPodcast. Make sure you help us to grow by rating us, subscribe on iTunes, and leaving a comment. Bye!